I've been seeing a lot of worry online about something important. It seems that the world in Pokemon Legends Arceus is a bit empty, wouldn't you say? Yes, that's it! People are worried that Pokemon Legends might be too empty, and it's not just the Pokemon or NPCs who need to fill up the world that people are talking about. That's already been proven to be a false worry because we can very clearly see at the start of the trailer that the village will be bustling with people by the artwork we're shown. No, the worries are about the possibility of there not being any more settlements in Pokemon Legends. However, I'm here to bring you some very good news. There has to be more towns in Pokemon Legends. It's actually impossible for there not to be. Confused? Let me explain. Let's look at a map of Japan. As we know, Sinnoh is geographically the same location and shape as the Hokkaido region of Japan. In other words, Sinnoh is Hokkaido in the Pokemon world. If you want more information on this, I highly recommend you watch my last video where I talk about the Sinnoh region as a whole to discover which village it was we see in the Legends trailer. It was super informative, and I laid facts out very concisely for everyone to quickly consume. I came to a conclusion about which city the village in the Legends trailer had to be. And without spoiling anything, let's just say it wasn't any of the towns on the edges of the map. I declared it almost had to be a town at the foot of Mount Coronet, for reasons. That being said though, this exact fact is why the village we see in the Pokemon Legends trailer cannot be the only settlement we discover in the game. Why do I say that, you ask? Well, in Pokemon Legends Arceus, we are confirmed to be pioneers who are creating the first Sinnoh Pokédex. But nothing was ever said about us coming from the first settlement created in the region. Matter of fact, the first settlement had to have been on the west end of the map. Let's just look at the map of real-world Japan again. With the knowledge that the Sinnoh region is being newly populated, we can see exactly where people would have to be coming from. The west side of the region. There are two options here. The more likely of the two being that people came from the region right below and fed upwards. Or they could have come from Russia and crossed the sea to find Sinnoh. This is less likely. Matter of fact, let's just look at this from the most likely scenario to make things simpler, that scenario being that people came up from the region right underneath and fed upwards. No matter how you slice it, Canalave City rests at the Bay of Swords right here on the west end of Sinnoh. We all know Canalave is an important port that was founded, and typically when colonies settle, they do so by the water. Especially in areas you can have boats enter and exit with the most ease. Canalave has to have been settled before anyone created settlements by Mount Coronet, and it eventually became a port that most likely did business with the landmasses of Russia, China, and Korea across the water. I want to give a special shout out to one of my subscribers who pointed this out to me in my last video. Or at least I'm guessing they're subscribed. This would be kind of awkward if they weren't. Oh hey, you watching the video. Subscribe to my channel, by the way. Special shout out to Pillow Nation for his comment. When referring to what he thinks the village we saw in the trailer was, he said, "I think Canalave City might be the most likely. You can see the route turning right at the exit of the village. Also, your colony is more likely from the west considering where Hokkaido, aka Sinnoh, is located compared to Kanto and Johto. Also, being a town next to the sea, it's probably where you originally landed." While I don't agree Pillow's comment can conclude that Canalave is the village we see in the Legends trailer, I do think they have an amazing point about where the colonies in Sinnoh originated from. So, great props to Pillow Nation. On the topic of colonizing, I think there is at least one more settlement we'll get to discover in Pokemon Legends Arceus. If we look at the map of Sinnoh, it looks very likely that a colony crossed over from the Sakhalin Island of Russia over to the area in Sinnoh that eventually becomes Veilstone City. Although, this may not be the exact spot they would land at, since on a real-world map, they would have entered right at the top at Snowpoint City. Either way, there has to be a settlement in one or both of these spots that came from Russia. Of course, the real question is, will they sprinkle even more villages across the region? I already do believe we will see several settlements along both sides of Mount Coronet, which, again, I discussed in my last video. Either way, what are your thoughts on all of this? Let's keep the discussion going. Let me know in the comments so we can talk more. Before I end off, I want to take a moment to thank my patrons over on Patreon. They're getting great perks for their dedicated support of me, so be sure to check it out too if you want to join the Slayer community. Until next time though, grab some snacks and keep watching my videos. I have plenty for you guys to see.